Hey, everybody. I want to talk to you a little bit more about clauses. You might think to yourself, what else is there to know? We discussed clauses and how they're different from phrases. You know that clauses have to have a subject and a verb, while phrases don't have subjects and verbs. They're sort of just, collections of words, while these are, clauses are collections of words that have a subject and a verb, right? Like a simple sentence is just a clause, all right? An independent clause, because we have independent clauses and dependent clauses. Independent clauses can stand on their own and make sense by themselves, all right? Dependent clauses cannot. Dependent clauses are like, or I could, say something to you like, to keep it very simple. I went to the movies. I, subject, went, verb, okay? I went to the movies. That's an independent clause because that's a complete thought by itself. But if I say something, if I add one single word to that, after I went to the movies, that now can't stand by itself and therefore becomes a dependent clause because it needs something else to help it make sense. So after I went to the movies, I went home and went to bed. All right, so that I went home and went to bed is an independent clause. I, subject, went and went, right? That right there can stand by itself. I went home and went to bed. That's a complete thought by itself. But the after the movie ended or whatever is not something that can stand alone. Okay, so to get a little more specific with these clauses, we can consider what role they perform in a sentence. All right? We have some clauses that act, the clause itself, the subject and verb collection of words, serves the purpose of a noun in some cases. And that's what we're going to talk about here. In some cases, that subject and verb clause plays the role of an adjective. And in some times, that subject and verb clause serves the purpose of an adverb. And we will talk about all of those in these different videos. But for this one, we are going to discuss noun clauses. These are usually the first ones that we look at. All right, so we know we've discussed what a clause is. A clause is a collection of words that has a subject and verb. So let's go ahead and write that down. Clause equals a collection of words still on, yes, with a subject and verb. All right? Then we need to think about what is a noun. A noun, of course, we know that. We understand parts of speech. That's very early in our development and understanding of language, though. A noun is a person, a place, a thing, or an idea. All right? A person. All right? You could say, a police officer. All right? Or a teacher, okay? Or an athlete, okay? Athlete is a person. A teacher is a person. A police officer is a person, all right? But we could also have someone's name. Sarah, right? That's also a noun. James, that's also a noun, all right? A place. School, for example. Home. Store. These things are all places, right? A thing. Well, we could have desk, all right? We could have book. We could have calculator. All of those are things. And then idea, these are ones that sometimes people struggle with. An idea is like hope. Okay, you can't really touch hope, but it is a concept that we have. Hope, love, joy, anxiety, those types of things, those are ideas. All right, so what we're going to discuss here is how can a clause, a collection of words, act as a noun? All right, one thing I think you need to keep in mind here is that a noun can be replaced by something else. There is another part of speech that we have of the 8 parts of speech that replaces a noun. Anyone remember which one replaces a noun? Okay, it's a pronoun. A pronoun replaces a noun. All right? So, for example, none of my students ever have to say, well, Mr. Murrin came into Mr. Murrin's classroom and Mr. Murrin picked up the test and Mr. Murrin distributed the test. They would just say, Mr. Murrin came into his classroom and he picked up the test and he distributed it, right? So it would just be Mr. Murrin the one time, and then every time after that, he, him, his, okay, would replace that. So we wouldn't say it. So I want you to keep this in mind because there are times when you will see a clause, and if you can replace that with a pronoun, then you're in pretty good shape of understanding how a noun clause works. All right? So let me write down a sentence for you. All right? There are times, you know, when you say something and people don't understand you, and you have to say, whoa, 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 sorry, but that is not what I meant. All right? So, one thing that I think helps, and I try to get my students to do, is to go on, when you're looking at clauses and trying to determine clauses, find them, go on a subject-verb hunt. Go look at and look for subjects and verbs in sentences, and then you can look at and go, okay, I see where the clauses are. So, we have the subject, that, and the verb is. That is. That's a clause right there. And then you also have I meant. All right? So there are 2 clauses. That is and I meant. Okay? But that is not what I meant is the full sentence. All right? So, that is not what I meant. In this case, what I meant will serve as the noun clause. Now you might ask why. Could I replace this with a pronoun? Absolutely I could. What if I said, that is not this? All right? I have 2 things. Let's say I have a dictionary right here, and I have a stapler right here. That is not this. This is a thing, and this is a thing. These are both nouns, but that is not this. All right? So, this right here can be replaced with this pronoun, and if something can be replaced with a pronoun, then it serves the purpose of a noun in that sentence. All right? Let's do this again. You've probably heard this particular phrase. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. All right? Garbage in, garbage out, they'll say. All right? You are what you eat. Subject, verb. Subject, verb. So if I said, you are what? What are you? You are what? Oh, you are this. noun clause. It has a subject and verb. You can replace it with a pronoun. Therefore, this operates as a noun. I want you to see something too. There is a consistency here. What? With these two. All right? If I ask you, what is this? I'm wanting you to explain this thing to me, right? What? What is it? It is this. This again, pronoun. Okay? All right. I've got a couple more for you. I want us to look at. Okay? Let me erase this. I hope it actually does a good job and doesn't leave a bunch of dust behind, because that has happened to me recently on this marker board. All right. So let's see. What else do I have? Do I have another one? Oh, yes. I think about my own house and my wife. What she says is law around here, right? So what my wife says, what she says is law. Now, this is a little bit different. She says. That's a subject and verb, yes? But, what she says, that's not a complete thought. But here's the interesting thing. We have another verb right here. So where is the clause, the independent clause that stands by itself? Well, check this out. This right here, this clause is, yes, a noun clause, but it is a noun clause because this right here this whole clause is the subject of the sentence. How can that be? Well, can I replace this with a pronoun? Absolutely. What she says, this is law. All right? Now, yes, I can say, what she says is this, right? But law itself is not a clause. There is no subject, there is no verb here. With this thing, there is a subject and verb, which makes this a clause, and it's a noun clause because this serves as the subject for this sentence. This is law. What she says is this thing, and this thing is law. All right? Let's try another one. All right. He will talk to whomever will listen. All right. Subject, he will talk. Whomever, that is a pronoun on its own, will listen. Verb. So he will talk to him. He will talk to her. Right? He will talk to him. He will talk to her. Whatever. All right? Or we could say this more specifically in this full clause. He will talk to all right? So what we have here is this entire clause, whomever will listen, is serving as a noun. So he'll talk to, who will he talk to? He will talk to whomever will listen. He will talk to him. He will talk to her. It doesn't matter. All right? That right there is taking the place of what would normally be reserved for a noun. Okay? One more. All right. I will see whatever movie you want. I will see whatever movie you want. I will see. Subject, verb. Whatever movie you want. Subject, verb. I'll see that. I'll see that. That is a pronoun. I will see. Noun clause. All right? So think about that. What purpose, what role is the clause serving in the sentence? Is it a noun? Is it a person, a place, or a thing? See, this is a thing. This is a person. This is a thing. A movie is a thing. Whichever movie you want. I'll see that movie. Great. He will talk to that guy. He will talk to that girl. All right? Or whatever. That's a person. This thing that she says, the words that come out of her mouth, the word is law. This is a noun. This is a thing. All right? I hope this makes sense. And I hope this helps you to understand this so we can be able to start working on it and looking at these a little bit closer, either in class or you can start looking at them closer on your own. All right? So, thanks for listening, and until next time, check you later.